Now, you have to avoid what I call the check the box business plan. ICT applications are asking for business plans, so let's give them one. And if it has pages and pages of just fluff information, fluff means you're just filling up the pages of the business plan, but it's really not saying anything, then those are business plans that's going to definitely get your ICT application to get rejected. Now, what are the key components of a business plan? What should you really be looking at? The usual, right? The usual, you talk about market analysis, you talk about competitor analysis, you talk about what your company does, your product and services, give them some idea about how you plan to charge them, your pricing strategy, and all of that is wonderful. But some of the key important aspects, which I definitely include in my business plan, is the recruitment, right? And also a strategy for recruitment. You are planning to recruit, say, 10 people in a new country. You've never been here before. Your company doesn't exist here as of now. Now you are coming up with a plan to say that this is what I plan to do. Then you need to let them know that you know how to recruit. Recruitment is done very differently in different countries, so you need to understand how recruitment is done here. So you talk about a strategy for recruitment, exactly who you're going to hire, their knock codes, their duties and responsibilities. That's just one part of, which is a very important part of the business plan. Another really important part of the business plan is to explain economic impact, because ICT is all about whether your company coming from abroad to Canada can set up operations, can actually create economic impact. And what kind of economic impact are we talking about here? The most important economic impact is the fact that you're going to be creating employment for Canadian citizens and permanent residents. And the second economic impact is the fact that you will be paying Canadian taxes. So a lot of people, I find that they have clients in the US, okay, and they have their operations back in the UAE or India or Pakistan or Saudi Arabia or wherever it is. And one of the strategies I tell them to do is to reroute the funds from, or reroute the clients to pay to your Canadian bank account instead of the US bank account. So you just make that slight change after you incorporate the company here. So when you are applying for ICT to begin with, you are already stating that the revenue is coming into the Canadian bank account. Now, whether or not the client actually is in Canada is not the consideration here. Where the money comes in and where the revenue is being recognized is the more important aspect here. Most people set up companies in Canada because they are interested in opening up offices in the US or sort of expanding in the North American region. And most of my clients who have already set up their companies here have more clients coming in from the US than in Canada itself. Of course, I have a set of clients that do exceedingly well in the Canadian market, but I'm just being very honest with you as to how it is. So all of this need to be explained in the business plan really well, right? If you have multiple divisions that you will be opening, you have to tie it all in and you have to explain to them how these multiple divisions are going to play out when you start the Canadian operations. If you are looking at going into any area that's outside of the core, like I explained before, you need to really understand what the government is offering in terms of new businesses. What kind of business is the government looking for? Is it more construction related, IT related, healthcare related? Whatever it is, you have to really do a thorough analysis of all of that. Put all of that in the business plan, because a business plan is where you're basically letting IRCC know and know that this is who you are as a company, this is who you are, this is what you plan to do. And so it has to be very explicitly explained. And then, like I said before, IRCC reads everything. So if you are sending a 50-page business plan, they are reading every single page to understand that you know what you're doing and you are the right fit. Because think about it, they receive so many applications. And going back to the percentage that I talked about, it's just 17% of 44%, which is really 7.5% of the 6.2%, which is the temporary resident population in Canada. You are looking at a small percentage, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, IRCC looks at startup companies very favorably because of low risk factor for them, right? You're not taking jobs away from anybody. You're not really taking anything away from anyone. If anything, you are setting up a new operation that, so as of today, doesn't exist. And through that operation, you are giving yourself a job You're bringing your family here, so they're looking at that ripple effect of what this company can do for the Canadian economy. And so I don't want you to think there's a small percentage only for ICTs, the chances of rejection will be high. Absolutely not. You'll have to look at it on a more broader scale. When I say ICT, it involves everything, right? It involves even specialized knowledge workers and everybody, but especially business owners. If you get your business plan right, if you get your business right, if you get your location right, and few of the things that I talked about in this video today, there is a very, very low chance that your application can get rejected. And if you were to work with someone like us, and I think some of my clients can actually vouch for that, um, if it is a rejection, first of all, I don't even take on clients that I know that I'm not sure if I can get them an approval. But even if I take on and for any reason IRCC is rejecting, we do not just let go of that client. We make sure that we help that client get an approval. Again, there are excruciating circumstances under which we're not able to do this for every single client, but I can very, very safely say 99% of our clients, or actually more than 99% of our clients, we've been able to do this. Those who got rejections that were not explicitly explained as to why they got a rejection, or the rejection was not substantiated with enough evidence from the IRCC officers, we have always gone back and we have always converted that into an approval. So get the business plan right. Don't write a business plan for the sake of writing a business plan. Make sure it really and genuinely talks about what your business does.